Hello and welcome to the How to Exit podcast. Today I'm here with Neil Medwed. He is the VP of Meriplex Corporate Development and M&A. Thank you for being on the show today, Neil.
My pleasure. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Can you tell us how you ended up on a show like this?
Well, let's just start from the beginning over here. We have an hour to talk. May as well get into it over here. I'm a 39-year RMSP based in Dallas, Texas. Had my own company for 26 and a half years, Preferred Technology Solutions in the Dallas area. And I'm an older man, as you can see. And in the back of your mind, back in my mind, I was thinking, what would an exit look like? I got a call from my best technology friend who merged with Meriplex, and one thing led to another. And 5 months later, I became part of Meriplex. The funny story is, when I came into Meriplex, we're a smaller organization, about 80 people, including my company. But I was supposed to be waving the flag in the Dallas Fort Worth marketplace, talking to end users, the movers and shakers in Dallas, and handing it off to a sales force to work. I've invested heavily in technology communities, being a leader in different technology communities, giving back to our industry for well over 2 decades. And because of that, I knew a lot of people and I was highly trusted. I was always a very, very honest person, a very, very blunt and direct person. So after I became Meriplex, I talked to a friend of mine, local friend of mine who owned a technology company. Next thing we know, he becomes part of Meriplex. And then another friend of mine from California called to do some work in Dallas. And I took the conversation to what it looked like to be part of the Meriplex Nation, if you will. And they became part of Meriplex. And our leadership, Dave Henley, our CEO, and Dusty Corning, our CSO, they said, "How are you doing this, Neil?" Well, I know a lot of people. I believe in what we're building, growing, doing. And I just feel that strongly. And they said, "Neil, I think that you have a new role in our company. Just do what you do." And that's what I've been doing for the last a little bit over 2 years now.
I used to say it's a huge world, a small world in a huge industry. You don't want to burn people when you're like in tech, and if you're a coder and you write particular code for a particular sector of the industry and you go around making a bad name for yourselves, the rest of the people in the industry will find out. The reason I tell that whole thing is some people who are not in tech don't realize that there are these tight knit communities inside of this space, and you developed yourself in that leadership community.
Yeah, very, very much so. I like to say that you can be an island upon yourself, or you could be a confederation of like minded companies, like minded owners that work together to help each other. You're probably not the first one to have this issue. By joining a community, there's many different types of communities out there. You have the distributor communities, the TD Synex Community Solve communities, and Ingram Micro Trust X communities. You have the IT Nation Evolve types of communities, the True Methods, so many different types of communities that are out there. The key is this. Again, you can be an island upon yourself, trying to do things and learn things without help, or you could be with a group of people, whether it be in competing markets or not. One thing that, if the communities are set up correctly, and most of them are because they've matured, whether you're in the same city or not, the friendships that you develop, the trusts that you develop, even if it's in your own city. I have so many technology owner friends in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. I was having lunch with one of them yesterday. But also, people want to do something much, much bigger and better than they could otherwise. And that's one of the keys to our success, is checking all those different boxes. For me, for an M&A deal to work, number one, it has to be great for your customers. If it's not great for your customers, walk away. Number two, it has to be great for your employees. If it's not, these are the people that got you to where you are. If it's not good for your employees, great for your employees, again, it's not going to be the right deal. Number three is the financial piece. Obviously, it has to check that mark. It has to be very, very good financially for the ownership group. One thing about Meriplex, we're not bottom feeders. Obviously, based on our success, we've been extremely successful in buying very successful MSPs. So value is a box that we check. But if you notice, number one's customers. Number two is employees. Before we even talk about financials, we're talking about those things. Then number four, of course, is the lane. Every company, I had Preferred Technology Solutions
Mhm.
26 and a half years. We had really good employees. I thought that we were a really good company. And to some level, it's all relative.
Right.
We're in a people business. Slice and dice it, we're in a people business. It's about what you know up here. It's
Mhm.
about the sophistication of your operations. And I feel like I went from minor league to major league. I couldn't afford to hire half the people we have in Meriplex. And that's again back to the power of Meriplex. Security, you're a security guy. Thinking about the cost of quality security people. And if you train up a security person, supply versus demand from the staffing perspective, to keep quality security people is very, very difficult. And then we work towards agreeing on a number, agreeing on roles and things like that, then going to the LOI stage. One thing about Meriplex, very unique in the industry, 100% of our LOIs have closed. Something else unique, 100% of our LOIs have closed at the number of the LOI or more, versus what happens a lot of times is certain organizations will throw LOIs like it's, I don't know, like it's nothing, and get you tied on in. And then the LOI, let's say, is at $100 to make the numbers easy. Okay. And then come back after they have you tied up for 2 or 3 months. We can only pay 80. We saw some things in here. That happens more times than you would believe in our industry.
They call it
Here's what
retrading or something. There's even a name for it. It's like retrading or I forget.
retrading the deal. Yeah,
Yep.
they come up to, oh, yeah, we saw these things that concern us, or hey, interest rates have gone from low to where they are now. So valuation, 100% of the time that we sign LOI, we do so good diligence in advance.
Mhm.
100% of our LOIs have closed.
Awesome.
100%. In my career, especially early in my career, using outside consultants is something that I shied away from. Oh, they're too expensive, so on and so forth. Something I've learned in my journey is that investing in the right consultants, again, we're either a salesperson that said, hey, I can do better, or we're an engineer that said, hey, I can do better. Rarely are you an MBA in finance from whatever university. And bringing in the right consultants to help you make the right decisions. A dollar paid, but multiples ROI comes back. Understand your strengths, understand your weaknesses.